Greetings, and welcome back to the MCOC Encyclopedia. Today, as promised, we will be going through the path from 6.1.2 that I recommended in my previous video with the team I recommended using. This will allow you to get a little bit more insight into why I chose this team and how I play around the global nodes. This will be much more relaxed, but I still suggest you go and watch that first video if you haven't already, as it contains most of the key information around this quest. And with that, let's jump in. Right. We'll start our path out by teleporting over to B, just double checking I've got the right one there, and we'll be taking the super easy Captain America. This, as far as I'm aware, they're just here for story reasons. I think Karina or someone is stealing their power. I'm unsure exactly, I don't pay much attention to the story. But they are a very good place for training and understand what is going on. When you dive straight into a new set of nodes, they can be a little overwhelming, and we can use these champions here to explore exactly how this works. And then we're just going straight in for a special one, and the fight's over. Very easy, very quick, no worries at all. So we'll be heading left down the tech path, just claim my daily rewards, and on to the Punisher 2099. I would argue that him and Ultron are probably the two worst path fights, as in the hardest. So again, with the previous 6.1.1, if you're struggling, it's 15 energy in and out, so it could be worth going in and out, getting this down cleanly, rather than struggling your way through it. Energy is always cheaper than revives. So, going in with Mags here, and I would say that of this team, Mags is the best for the path. He can take every single fight here. All the champions are marked as metal. Mags has a parry-heavy playstyle and only a single hit on his heavy, so we can fairly comfortably make it to Special 3. It's usually about 10 hits, I think, to make it to Special 3, and once we get there, he's going to have pretty much a nuke on everyone here. Against the non-bleed immune champions, he will stick a whole stack of his shrapnel bleeds on them. These are the bleeds that are unique to Mags, and when they expire, they deal a huge burst of additional damage. There I got a bit unlucky, and Punisher actually drains your power for a proportion of his battery when you reach Special 3. Luckily, we still have hits to spare, losing a few of my prowess, but not a big deal, just trying to get the Special 2 out of him. The block damage on Punisher is really nasty, and if you are feeling it, don't worry, that's not you. The block damage is nasty. Luckily, Magneto, against metal champions, has a 50% perfect block chance, so we can remove a lot of that block damage. Massive damage off the Special 3, and now some huge bleeds. Take a Special 1 to the face to clear it out, but there we go. Mags is probably the best of this team for the path, and so I won't be using him on any of the other fights. I could take all of them with him, no issues, but I want to show that you don't need necessarily optimal counters for the path. Mags would close this Ultron out in about 40-45 seconds, because the Special 3 would be insta-kill, but I'm going in with Ghost here. Her damage is still very good, and she can actually counter Ultron's evade slightly. Her crits can't be evaded, even by Ultron here, so we've got no worries. There I was fishing for an extra cruelty, didn't get it, but the damage is still pretty good. I see that's about 20%, so I know it's going to take a few more to go for it. Unluckily with my attack whiffing, but I go for the heavy instead. Ultron doesn't want to play ball, so I have to go in and out. There we use the crit, so he can't evade, phase the Special 1, and slightly unluckily my Furies ran out before the Special 2, but not a big deal. Phase the Special 1 there. Here comes Ultron's regen, so actually we go for the parry there to turn it off. Go for a Fury for a bit of extra damage. We know he can't phase the crit, so we can get one hit in there. Phase for the power gain, and then big Special 2 here. It really helps Ghost to be awakened against these fights, so she can get that power gain from phasing hits. Can't really deal with this regen, but we go for a Special 1, and that closes out the fight, just about. Ghost, very solid option. A slightly weird champion to play, but if you can get good with her, she's so powerful. That Ghost there, my 5-star rank 5, though she was 5-star rank 4 at the time, carried me through most of Act 6. Really, really good champion to have, if you can master her. Up next, I'm using Wasp, because why not? Wasp has basically nothing going for her in this fight. She's got some good damage, and that's about it. She can chain into her heavies, so effectively she has 6 hit combos. So we've gone for 2 combos, we have 12 hits on the combo meter. But I want to show here that really you can use pretty much any champion for these fights. If your favourite champion is, let's use Dragon Man again, he can take these just fine. You don't need anything special for these fights. Punisher 2099 has his nasty block damage, but here, really not a big deal. Do have to watch out for Nebula's regen, as it can get a little bit out of hand if you're not careful. And notice too that I'm pushing... I could throw a special one here, no issues, but I'm pushing my combos as far as I can, because you can see now I've got 15 hits, but also 0.8 bars of power. What I want to try and do is get to my special 2 with Wasp, as that has some great damage and some power stings on it. Really enjoying those guaranteed crits on Wasp's heavies. 17k reliably. It's very nice. And that evade saved my ass there, even though it does give Nebula some shock charges, so I've got to be really careful she now doesn't parry me in any way. Even though I won't get stunned, still don't want to get those shocks on me. Here, just need a little bit more power. 1 hit, big special 2. Blam blam blam, and the fight's closed out. Really nice there. Again, any random champion can take these fights. Claim my daily objectives. And before moving on to Vulture, best option for this fight of this team would be Max, but I'm not going to use him because he's too good. Instead, I will be using Nebula, which was probably a mistake. And we'll explore why further into this fight. Simple reason is, actually, I forgot about special delivery when I went into this fight, and as soon as I went in, I was like, I can't reach my special 2. It is always worth taking time to sit there and think. So I had to restructure my game plan. My Nebula is awakened, so she gains additional combat power rate while the opponent is shocked, and then I see, Oscillate. He's going to be playing very defensively, so I can use this defensive time to build up my shock charges. He's not going to be hitting into me, so I can get some good damage going here, and a really long power lock because of all of those shocks. He's back in his offensive phase, but I still try and get an additional shock, but I know he's not gaining power. I go for a heavy there to try and build a bit more power, because I'm still fishing, trying to get my special 2, and there's the big moment. I get hit, and unfortunately the Oscillate Fury does increase the burst damage from the cruelties detonating. So I took 10,000 red burst damage there. Not ideal. There I purposely whiff a light attack, as the AI sometimes just likes to sit there if you do it for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but you have to be very careful you don't get parried. Here we go for some big damage. What are we ticking for? 17k per tick, really nice damage in there, and that's most of Vulture's health gone. I'm just looking to slowly close out the rest of this fight. With boosts, this fight would be closed out, no worries, and I do recommend for story content that you use boosts. 1% health left, going for the kill. Doesn't quite make it. I know he must have just a few hundred health points left, so some hits into block, and the fight's down. Took much more health damage there than I'd like, and that fight was quite a bit longer than I would have liked. 80 seconds with Mags would have been much better. Up next we have Starkenheart's Spiderman, or Starky, remind myself of the nodes, and here I'm choosing Medusa for the fact she is a cosmic. Starky instantly loses his AI, bam, first hit, AI is gone against cosmics. Any cosmic would get this effect, and you don't even need to throw the heavy. Here I'll just be going for my special ones, but again I will be pushing the combo meter as far as I can, or within reason, to try and see if I can push my special 2, because there's some nice damage on it there. You can see here, if you're paying attention to my hit register thing on the left, that I'm actually going for light ending combos with Medusa, as her crit light attacks are where her permanent bleeds come from. So once the armor shatters up, I would go for light ending combos. Not entirely sure why. I go for the special 1 there to refresh my special delivery counter. Would have liked to push the special 2, but couldn't quite make it. And then we just close out the fight. I know here that my combo will probably kill him, so I risk the special 3 off him, and I know that worst case scenario I throw my special 2, he would be stunned, and we can close it out that way if my damage was a bit lacking. Right, that's the path. Now over to the actual problem fights. We have the champion selector here, so if you needed a bit of backup, again, I would drop out Nebula here, bring in any other big champion that you like, and then sub Nebula in here, as needed. I'll be going for Ghost versus this Sentinel. She's really, really good. Double check all the nodes to make sure I'm not going to get armor broken for some reason, because then we'd be in big trouble, and off we go. When Ghost phases, she clears any and all damaging debuffs from her, and that's why she's so busted for Biohazard. She converts them to Furies, and I'm really lucky off my first 2 hits, gain 2 bleeds. Sentinel doesn't really want to play ball, but we're working off 7k medium straight away, which is very nice. There I mess up and just get hit, the intercept doesn't quite work. Very clean intercept there, get a bleed. Here I'm fishing to see if I can get another one, but nope, we just have to go in here and we get 17k, 17k, and then only 12k at the end there. I have to block the end of that special too. There we go, get a bleed off that, get a fury from my heavy as well as a fury from the bleed. Evade all of that, and at this point I can see that his charges are really starting to build up. Fishing for a bleed, there it is, and he's at 84 charges, and there is a slight bug with Ghost, which is never going to get fixed because she's too overpowered. Her crits aren't wholly guaranteed. There we get the full dex, which is very nice. She just has a really high crit chance. So we've got 2 there, so we get the 30k, and then Sentinel's analysis charges mean that we don't have 100% crit chance anymore, but we've still got some nice big crit mediums to finish out this fight. Avoid the special one, go back in. Can we get a bleed? Nope. Probably could have finished it with a special one there to be safe, but clear that very nicely. And actually most of the damage I took there was from the bleeds, not from getting hit. Finally, we have Nebula here, and there is no shame in it at all. I use some potions here, and I fully advise that you do too. While I'm very much against just throwing resources at a problem, there is no problem here at all using a few pots where you need to. Could have gone to full health, didn't. And this fight goes fairly poorly. So, I start the fight trying to build some shock charges, get clomped by a heavy attack, get lucky that Spike doesn't trigger. Unfortunately I dex, and Spike does trigger. However, we can clear that off. No worries, we've got our 5 shock charges, and if I was smart, I would have just beaten him to death from here. He can't do anything. He won't evade, EMP mod won't trigger, Spike won't trigger, and even as you see there, Special Delivery doesn't trigger. We can reduce that by ability accuracy as well. So I can go to all the way to Special 3, no issues whatsoever. Dex that. Again, if I was smart, I would have just hit him. Dex the Special 1, hit him. Dex the Special 1, hit him. Go for the Special 3, no issues with that at all. Kick, zap, 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 zap. Skip the rest of that. Here we get our weapons overcharge, so we're stacking a lot of shocks onto Ultron. They're not as potent as her parry shocks at all, but I need to keep those charges going, so we can keep his ability accuracy down. Yeah, in theory. Things will go a bit wrong later, but we'll get there when we get there. Stacking up some nice shocks here, and then we go for Special 2 and convert all of those shocks on him. We get is it 18 shocks for some really nice damage. If I was smart, I would have just gone Special 3, Special 2 again. Oop, there comes the backup recovery. Even though he has no ability accuracy, the regen will trigger. As I said in the video, it is power gain or regen. One of them will trigger. But this is where the fight starts to go wrong. I get greedy. I know Ultron can't evade while he's stunned, so why don't I just parry him and go for Special 2? Well, here's your exact lesson in why not to. Or do I go for another... Oh no, there we go. So yeah. He evades that last hit there. So now, he's got Spike going, he's got EMP mod going, I've got to worry about Special Delivery. This is where the fight goes down. I should have just gone Special 3, Special 2, Special 3, Special 2, and tried not to parry. And here I got very unlucky that I have buffs on him, but my ability accuracy, Spite is still going. It's going really slowly for some reason that I don't fully understand. This must be sort of at least less than half the rate it normally is. But either way, Spite is still going, so this is something I really have to watch out for. So what I have to do, unfortunately, is dump my shock charges and go again. So there I go for the parry, and then for some reason here, he doesn't evade. I don't fully understand why. He should have at least tried to be consistent, but here I get lucky. Oh no, Spite's still going. Well, I get lucky that the fight is nearly closed down. So I'm taking a lot of block damage here, but I'd much rather take block damage than direct hits. And there we close the fight down. Really sloppy. Really sloppy from my end. However, if you have a 5-star rank 4 and you use 50% boost, so that's the 30% and the 20%, you will get roughly the same performance as a 6-star sort of rank 2.5. And if you have a 5-star rank 5 or a 6-star rank 2, you will see better results than that. Much better results. Hopefully you can play like less of a scrub. So, I hope that was helpful, and do let me know if you have any comments about what's gone on here. If there's enough interest for it, I can do a run through of the biohazard path as well, but that will predominantly be me using Ghost, Omega Red, and I'll probably bring in Colossus as well, and then have Nebula and Mags as backup for the main two there. I might swap in Wasp to help my Ghost gameplay, but I'd probably put that team together slightly differently than this one. The next video, as requested by you guys, will be Spot on defense, and then I will continue the Act 6 run through. Do let me know if you'd like me to jump around in Act 6 or just continue with 613 next. I could, for example, go straight to 625 as that's an absolute pain for a lot of people. Thank you, and I will see you next time.